Pinterest SEO is about more than just keywords. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 key Pinterest SEO tips that'll help you beat the algorithm, rank number 1 on search, and get more traffic and sales from Pinterest. Tip number 1 is to add relevant tags to your video pins. Now, in this video, I shared exactly how video pins work. What makes video pins unique is that you can add specific category tags to each of the video pins that you upload on the platform, which means that you can actually select and identify exactly who the video pin should be showcased to. So let's take a look at how that's done. Alright, so as you can see, this is a video pin. Now, everything else on this video pin is just exactly the same as a static image, which is the title, the description, as well as the URL that you can add here. However, one thing that differentiates video pins is the ability to add tags, and that's exactly what I want to show you to optimize for search. Now, as you can see, the pin is all about toxic habits. Now, think about the broader category this pin belongs to. So I can look for and search exactly what I want. And one of the categories this pin would fall into would be personal development or personal growth. So as you can see, when I look for personal development, I find personal development, and I also find other related topics. Another thing that I can search for is just habits to see if anything comes up on Pinterest related to this particular thing. So as you can see, under education, which is the broader category, there's a smaller category or tag, which is about 7 habits. So I can click that. I can type it once more and see if there's anything else that it fits to. So daily routine. Another thing that comes into mind when I think about this pin is that overall it represents health and productivity. So I can also look for similar related tags so that the audience that might be interested in these topics will find this video pin. So as you can see, there are different things. There's health education, there is mental health, there is recipes. So I'm going to look at healthcare, and then I'm also going to look at mental health because it seems like appropriate as well. Let me type in health again. Wellness is another thing that it could actually relate to. So natural wellness, body goals, things like that. So now, of course, when you're adding tags, you can add up to 10 tags that are most relevant to that particular topic. You don't have to add all of them. You can add just 3 to 5 tags if that's something relevant to you. But the way to look at it is that you can add a mix of different categories and tags which are A, directly related, and B, indirectly related. So as you can see, personal development, habits, daily routine is quite directly related to the pin that I'm creating. However, things like healthcare, natural wellness, body goals, health education, these are somehow related but not exactly directly related. Another thing I could add here would be fitness, or maybe even fitness productivity, right? So things that are basically related to this pin in even the most indirect manner possible. So I think that's a good number of tags that we've added. Of course, you can add all relevant tags if you want, which are just about the pin, or you can also add a bit broader tags. Personally, I prefer adding a mix of both directly relevant tags and slightly broader tags so that when Pinterest is pushing out this video pin, they can actually showcase it to a wider audience, because chances are people who are interested in personal development might also be interested in healthcare, they might also be interested in wellness, they might also be interested in fitness and exercises and things like that. So think about who you are trying to reach with your particular pin, who is the target audience, who are the target customers that you want to reach, and what are the main categories that they're most likely to be interested in or most likely to have, some kind of affinity towards, because that means those are your people. You can even copy paste and write down all of these categories and keep them in mind for all the next pins that you create. So for example, you can just write down all the tags, save it to your notes or to somewhere on Google Docs, and then each time you create a similar pin or a similar category pin, you can just copy paste those tags so that you can save time on searching and adding. In essence, they kind of work like hashtags, but instead of hashtags, they're more category and keyword related. The next tip that I have for you is to have a consistent pin image and description. Now, many people think that adding keywords to their description is all they need to do in order to rank high on search. However, that's not the case. It's not just important for you to add the right descriptions to your pin, but it's also important for there to be consistency between the image that you're uploading and the description that you create for that image. What this means is that when you upload your image, Pinterest actually ranks all of the image meta tags to see exactly how they can be identified and then pushes them out to the relevant audience. This means that if your description and your pin image are not a close match, then your pin is not going to rank as high as you want on search. So let me take you behind the scenes and give you an example of how this is done. So here's what I mean when it comes to consistent pin, title, image, and description. Now, as you can see, this pin is all about 12 podcasts to motivate the crap out of you. And as you can see, the title and the description is somewhat similar as well. But what's really important here is to notice the link between the pin image and the pin description. So when you're uploading your pins, you want to make sure that these two things actually match. Now, for example, when you see here, you can see that there's a girl who is listening to her headphones, which could be someone listening to a podcast. And then there is text overlay on this pin, which says 12 podcasts to motivate the crap out of you. So basically, when Pinterest will scan this image, it will realize, okay, there's someone who is listening to something, and then the text says podcasts, and on the right side, the description also matches this image. So here it says 12 podcasts for women about personal growth, motivation, success, and mindset that changed my life, right? And then there are some hashtags. Now, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis into writing really long stuff Pinterest keywords, descriptions, but that's not the only thing that matters. You don't even need to create a super long or super stuffy pin description. What you do need to have is a relevance. And that is the one thing that Pinterest heavily relies on as a search engine. When you think about it, it is kind of the same with Google Images as well. When you're uploading images to your blog post, you're always adding these alt texts which allow Google to understand exactly what the image is about so that those images can rank on Google Images. It's the same thing with Pinterest as well. You want to make sure that there's a connection between the image that you have, the text that is there on the pin, as well as the description of that particular pin. So here's another example that you can see in a slightly different topic just to give you another idea of how this works. So as you can see, this is about 6 habits that will make weight loss easy. Now, obviously, one of the things that we talk about when we talk about weight loss is food and exercise, right? So here's an image of someone eating what looks like healthy food, right? And this is the image which goes along well with the topic, which says 6 habits that will make weight loss easy. And as you can see on the right side, we also have in the title, habits that will make weight loss easy, as well as in the description, 6 habits that will make weight loss easy, find time for fitness and healthy holistic living, right? So again, when Pinterest scans this image and figures out exactly what or who this image is targeted towards, it can really quickly put 2 and 2 together and understand, okay, that's an image of a woman who is eating something healthy, strawberries or muesli or whatever, and this title on the pin says it is about habits that will make weight loss easy. On the right side is also something that matches this description. Hence, this image and description is a good match for anyone looking for blog posts on how to make weight loss easy, or how to eat healthy, or how to live more holistically and stuff like that. And that is really the aim that you should have when you're creating your pins and descriptions, that you try to make it as relevant and as easy as possible for Pinterest as a search engine to understand exactly what your content is about and who the heck should be even seeing this content. Because when Pinterest scans your pins and they either have the wrong image, or they have a really dark and blurry image which isn't really visually appealing, or it has the wrong text overlay on it, then it does not send the right signal when it comes to being relevant for the right audience. So make sure that you're always doing this in a consistent manner and keeping your pins as well as your descriptions relevant to each other and linked to each other. The next tip is something that most people don't know about the search algorithm, and that is the first pin that you upload and the first time that you upload it, you have to add it to the most relevant board first. What this means for you is that the first time that you create and upload a pin, if you do not save it to the most relevant board first, then you lose out on search engine rankings in the long run. Why? Because when you create that pin and you save it to the wrong board or to a board that is not really related to the topic of the pin, then that confuses the Pinterest algorithm and throws it off. It's not really sure what that pin is all about, and it is not able to push it out to the right audience. And when that happens, your pin doesn't get clicks, it doesn't get engagement, which means that it automatically does not rank high on search. So let's see how I do this with my pins so that you can stop making this mistake right away. So let's take the same example that we had at the beginning for a video pin and just talk about which of these boards that it should actually go out to. So as you can see, I haven't really filled out the complete pin, but just to show you, this is when you click on select, you'll see all the boards where you can save this pin to. Now, this is the first time that I'm uploading the pin, which means that I have to make sure that it is going to the most relevant board first, so that not only my audience, which is following that board, can get access to this pin, but also the algorithm can understand exactly what this pin is about and where it should be prioritized. So as you can see, this pin can fall into so many different topics. I have boards on habits, so it can go into any of these habits. It could go to healthy habits, daily habits for success, money habits, morning habits, and stuff. Or it could also go to broader categories like personal development, personal growth, etc. Right? So I have to now decide which of these boards are the most relevant boards for this pin. And it might happen to you as well, especially if you have a large amount of content that you create in kind of similar categories. It might be confusing exactly where to pin this content to. In that case, my rule of thumb is always to try to go a little bit broad and pick the broader category of the board as long as it is relevant, so that everyone who is following that board can see that particular content as well. So in this case, I'm not going to save it directly to the habits board, but I'm actually going to save it to personal growth or personal development. And once I've saved it to personal growth, then I can repin it to the other boards as well. So as you can see, you can click through and then the second or third boards can then be saved again. Since this is a video pin, it is not instantly uploaded, but in the case of an image pin, once you save it to your most relevant board, you can then rank your other boards by relevance and save it anywhere else that it might be relevant as well. So for example, in this case, I would then go and save this pin to, let's say, my habits board. I could save it to my website board because my website is also about personal development, and so on and so forth. But keep in mind, the first time that you upload and create the pin, you want to make sure that it is going out to the most relevant board possible with the maximum amount of followers, or maybe with the maximum amount of engagement, so that people who are your most engaged audience can actually have access to that pin, because that will lead to more engagement, more clicks, and more traffic. The next tip that I have for you, which is also one of the most important things for you to learn and understand about Pinterest, is to be intentional with your boards. Now, people on Pinterest can find you through your profile, they can find you through the search feed, or they can find you through one of your boards. This means that when your personal boards are not set up and optimized in the right manner, then that doesn't allow Pinterest to really discover your content, which means that if your content is not discoverable, it's not going to send you traffic and sales. Let me show you how you can do this on Pinterest really easily. Alright, so when it comes to creating boards intentionally, each board has to be set up for a particular audience that is most likely to benefit from that board's pins or content or products, right? So I'm going to share with you 3 of my boards, which from the outside looking in kind of look similar, but they're actually targeted towards a different audience. So you can see this board, which is about how to start a blog, and it will have all of the tips on blogging for beginners, how to make money, affiliate marketing, things like that. Everything that can possibly be covered in a blogging board. And then we have another board which is about side hustles at home, which does include blogging as well, but blogging is a very small part of this particular board. So the main thing about this board is about how to make money online, how to work from home, how to have a remote business, online business, and things like that. So basically all sorts of side hustle ideas and how you can make money from those side hustle ideas. And then I have another board which is all about Pinterest marketing. So one could argue that Pinterest marketing could also fall under side hustle and is also related to blogging. However, what I've done with each of the boards that I've created, whether it is for my own account or help my students and clients create those boards, is to make sure that every board targets a specific audience and a specific pain point. So you can, for example, see that this board is simply just related to Pinterest tips, Pinterest marketing. All of the content that I create on my blogs, on my YouTube channel, everything goes right here. So all of my pins that I share on my accounts, which is all about Pinterest, will go here. And then all of the things that I share in the side hustle topics, such as make money from home, creative entrepreneurship, how to make money from affiliate marketing, things like that, will go here. And then we have the board on how to start a blog and make money blogging, and basically everything about blogging for beginners, which is in this board. And I've also created some subsections, which is only for me, not necessarily for my audience, but just to make sure that we don't fall behind when it comes to the sections that we create in terms of pins, because there's a lot of content that I have on my Pinterest account. So I want to make sure that I can easily find them when I'm uploading and saving them to those particular content areas. You don't have to create sections, but sometimes it does help to simplify a large board. For example, this board has over 4,000 pins, so it does help to have certain categories if I'm looking to find something really quickly. But as you can see, this board then only focuses on blogging. It does have 1 or 2 Pinterest overlapping pins, but in general, I try to stick to the board topic and the board theme as much as possible so that we are making sure that we're targeting a different audience or an audience that is really interested in that topic. Because if you went into this board and you found things on how to make money online, you also found things on network marketing, you also found things on social media marketing, it would be really overwhelming for you to see this board. And why would you want to follow a board that is really not clear about who they're targeting and what they're all about? So always make sure that when you're planning your boards and when you're creating them, whether that is your first time or you are an established expert, to make sure that they're as relevant to a particular group or section of audience as possible. You can of course create separate boards as well. So you could create a board on how to start a blog. You can have another board on how to make money blogging. You can have another board on sponsorships for bloggers. The sky is the limit when it comes to boards, because you can really create up to 2,000 boards. But they can be a nightmare to manage that many boards. So be strategic about the boards that you're creating. Make sure that you actually optimize the board well. You pick the right name, you pick the right description, and you make sure, the most important part, to save the right pins and content to each of these boards. Because when your boards are not clearly distinctive and they don't have a specialty to each of the boards, then they simply just become one too many boards that no one really wants to follow on Pinterest. And when that happens, your board doesn't really perform well, which means you don't get the traffic and the eyeballs that you're looking for your Pinterest account. Now, if you found this video useful, you should check out my free Pinterest masterclass, which is linked down in the description below. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.